Hi there, neighbor. This is my stress ball. I squeeze it when I have lots of anger built up in my system. You know, I've been through a couple in the past hour, and this one looks like it might burst at any moment, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into the track review. Imagine Dragons. We know them, we love them, we hate them, somewhere in between. They've always been divisive, but despite my hatred for some of their material, namely that album that dropped in the year 2017, I shan't even utter its name should it appear yet again. But that and the album Origins that followed. I mean, they showed signs of life there. Tracks like Birds, it was produced by Joel Little. I was kind of more on board for that. So I said, you know what? There's gonna be 2 new songs. Let's give them a proper chance. And what did they do? Well, let me get the ball back out for a second. So let me get this straight. The first song, Follow You, produced by Joel Little. He's worked with Lorde. I loved his production work there. I even liked his old band back in the 2000s. And then you've got Rick Rubin producing the more experimental cut on this upcoming Imagine Dragons' 5th studio album, as of yet untitled. This track is called Cutthroat. And I don't really want to sugarcoat it. I'm gonna talk about Follow You first, but that song. Reeling it back in. Poker face, professional face. There it is. Hi, everyone. This track review is going to be interesting because I have a lot of thoughts on these new Imagine Dragons songs. I heard Follow You, and that track is the more Imagine Dragons that you would expect type of song. It's very pop friendly. It has a melody that you could see coming from a mile away, but I guess most of the time it's innocent enough. I don't care too much about it one way or the other. Again, this is going to service their fans. It sounds like it should be playing in the trailer for a film for kids where horses are running around and there's a magical quest and I'll follow you because the princess is falling in love and I don't know. I mean, follow you? Didn't we already hear that one? Yeah, Shinedown did that a million times better, and they also didn't include this atrocity? Fucking stop! To the heart and soul of my presentation, thank you so much for joining me at my TEDx talk about Imagine Dragons. I really thought that maybe they would have something new in the canon. They haven't put out new music since 2018, and I thought that I read about the hiatus. It seemed like Dan wanted to take time off as being the frontman of Imagine Dragons. He wanted to be a dad. And instead of cooking up something new and inspired, he put out one of the biggest pieces of shit that I have heard in recent memory. I'm not even exaggerating. I was physically appalled. I felt attacked in all senses when this song played for the very first time. I don't know if I felt a bigger piece of pure hatred just bleeding out of my soul since I listened to an AJR song for the first time. This is trying to be so many things. It thinks it's so edgy, and all of the kids that are fans of them, the teenage guys especially, this is going to be the most badass thing ever. But nothing about it even remotely comes close to working. The stabby piano chords on this track sound like if Dr. Dre had checked out and decided not to produce his own albums in the 90s and early 2000s, and had instead opted for just some B-grade producer he found on the street that said, hey, I can make you a Dr. Dre type beat. You see, it is that, but it's also so much more. I guess I gotta give him credit for having layers to the shit. It also features some vocals from Dan Reynolds that are slightly insane. Why does he sound like Smokey Robinson if he were super angry and trying to join a screamo band but actually didn't have any talent? You want experimental rock? Go listen to the Mars Volta, Sonic Youth, or even fucking Bring Me the Horizon. Why would I ever actively choose this auditory torture? The production is so glossy at the same time. It's trying to be a little bit dark hip-hop. It's trying to be aggressive on the rockier side. The drums, you can tell, are pretty programmed and formulaic. They break out a little bit towards the end, not that it even comes close to redeeming anything about Cutthroat, but this song ventures into even worse waters that I can't really explain, so let's just hear a little clip together. What did we do to deserve this, God? Why? You good, Dan Reynolds? You good? Cutthroat starts off unimaginably bad. I mean, it never sounded like this was going to be something great, but I didn't realize it was going to be like opening the portal to hell, because you stick a foot in the door and you think, well, I just fucked myself, this is gonna be awful, but then it somehow clamps down and gets worse. It devolves into this auditory torture where it feels like a child screaming and just throwing a temper tantrum, and then they're also cutting up the vocals. Take the worst parts of Smoke and Mirrors, their more experimental effort that I actually enjoyed. I think it's their best album. Take that and make it so unlikable, pierce the vocals, every single thing. It's just like I'm being tied to a cross and hung upside down. I don't know where that came from. It's bringing the hatred straight from my soul. You see, you probably think that I'm hamming it up, that I'm playing it up for the camera. This is genuinely awful. It's zero. It's a zero. It's a fucking terrible abomination, and I don't see how anybody could enjoy this. Rick Rubin's production is terrible. I mean, you're coming off of the new Abnormal by the Strokes and then choosing to produce this? And the absolute mess, the shit show. It's not experimental, it's just you sticking random pieces together and saying, huh, I bet that'll work, and then the fans will praise it like it's the fucking second coming of Christ. Dan Reynolds vocally on Cutthroat sounds like Chester Bennington when he tries to scream. If Chester Bennington sucked at screaming, tried to perform a show, had the flu, but still went up there anyways, and just was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Cutthroat 0. Follow You 2 out of 5. Couldn't be bothered to care, minus that vocal run at the end. The da 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 do da 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 da. It's childish nonsense. One is straight up appealing to be in a children's film trailer, and the other one sounds like a child screaming, so you do the math on if Imagine Dragons turned over a brand new leaf. I guess if we're gonna call this a new leaf, then we're gonna call it one that I should have ripped off the tree a long time ago. I promise I don't hate everything Imagine Dragons have ever done. I even made a top 10 Imagine Dragons songs like a year ago, so if you want to check that out, see what my favorites are, what I do enjoy from this band, then tap this link here, or tap over here to see another rant review. All of my socials can be found in the description down below. Thank you for watching, liking, it's all just my opinion. I'll see you soon on Beyond AR TV.